I first heard about Alan Armstrong when I read about this person who was doing a fundraising walk for Vasculitis UK. They were walking between Edinburgh and Grangemouth, and Grangemouth seemed like a fairly random location to be walking to. So that got me wondering, is Grangemouth the final destination because that's where they lived? And this made me even more curious because, well, Grangemouth is really close to where I live, and I've got this same very rare condition called vasculitis. And that's where all the curiosity came from. I thought, I've got to find out who this person is. And this is where we met up. Since then, Alan's been doing lots of other things. And, well, we'll get into that and we'll have a chat about that. So, hi there, Alan. Thanks for joining me today. How you doing? Hi there.
Good,
Hey.
thank you. I am a busy boy as always. Busy weekend. I'm currently in a guest house in Aberdeen at the moment for the Aberdeen Kilt Walk tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow, all prepared, ready to go. I hope the weather turns out okay. Um, Now, to backtrack a wee bit, we met up, I think it was sort of the start of 2023. Just like I mentioned there, I was searching around trying to find help and getting treatment for my type of vasculitis and reading everything that came up. And I found this thing about this person that was doing a walk from Edinburgh to Grangemouth as a charity fundraiser for a vasculitis charity. I thought, I've got to find out who this person is. Well, it's a good place to start. Alan, can you tell us a bit about that walk? How you're involved with that? What does vasculitis have to do with yourself?
So, our nephew Aaron, Arron McGrogan, sadly passed away due to the effects of vasculitis. 23 years old, he was diagnosed at 21. Um, so Aaron's life was changed pretty quickly after diagnosis of during lockdowns and pandemics and everything else that was going on. He was in and out of hospital having multiple treatments, chemotherapy, and
Yeah.
um,
So this came on
quite a
pretty
lot.
quick.
Yeah, his symptoms became pretty unbearable for
Yeah.
him at such a young age, and lots of medications that he had never been used to, and yeah, and sadly, the disease took Aaron. Um, we as a family will probably never understand it
No.
because we never understand when a loved one's taken away from us. But when it's a loved one, it's so young. It's
Yeah. It's tragic.
it's yeah, it really is. So yeah, I after Aaron passed away, I really didn't know how to process grief
No.
of the loss of him. And the only way I could process it was doing something that was incredible
Hmm.
for my mental health and to get away from the feelings of loss and emptiness and loneliness, not having him around. My pendant I'm wearing's got Aaron's ashes in here. So
I was going to ask about that. Aaron was with you when you did. Aaron was with you when you did that walk, wasn't he? With the pendant.
he was 30 miles, 30 miles. So were you, Alan. You were on part of my walk with me on multiple
I
parts of it as well.
I did keep checking
Uh,
in.
yeah, absolutely did. And I'm always grateful for the both of you checking in on me as well, you know. Uh, yeah, and it was Aaron's walk with Aaron. It was, I think it was a GoFund or a Just Giving page. I can't remember now. I think it was a Just Giving page maybe. Um, and
But yeah, I think it was a GoFundMe, but
uh, uh,
I can't remember. But yeah, Alan's walk with Aaron.
that's right. And a lot of preparation in the background
Yeah,
of doing it, not running, but more cycling and a lot of treadmill walking and stuff like that. So
aye,
it was a out of my comfort zone, a huge thing to do in my life, and I'm smashed the target out the park. It
yeah.
really was smashed out the park. But I made a beautiful art piece of the signifying the brain as an abstract artist that lit up. That was gifted to my sister and my niece in honour of Aaron as well. So titled "I'm Back in Brain." So yeah, a lot of really landscapes that were untouched within mental health for me at that time, of getting through grief that I didn't know how to describe or get through anymore. And um, Alice, what with Aaron was just this outlet
Uh-huh.
that was incredible to do, and meeting yourself and
Yeah,
interviewing you guys as well was
yeah.
uh, hugely out my comfort zone. Like this talk we done together at the wee museum in Ocean Terminal.
What is
Uh,
it? The wee museum of
the wee museum of
something.
memory.
Memory. I
Um,
forgot.
um,
It's the wee museum of.
Living Memories Association in Ocean Terminal. It's in the former Superdry now, and the former French Connection in Ocean Terminal now. So it's
So
got two parts.
it's still going on. It,
It's
it,
still going on, yeah. They're still ticking away. They're still doing incredibly great things for people who live with isolation, loneliness, dementia, Alzheimer's. So yeah, hugely important charity.
excellent. That's great stuff. Um, I'm just having a look at the questions I've got because my memory is this is a terrible thing. Um, and the picture on the GoFundMe page or the yeah whatever the funding page was, it's them that cut your head off. It's not me. It's got the blue hoodie, but it's
That's
only up
right.
to your chin. It's taking your head off.
I, I paid to have that printed. So
Hmm. Yeah,
uh, I think I can't remember if I got two printed or not. But my sister actually has that hoodie now. My sister Pamela has that hoodie now.
mhm.
Um, as soon as I'd done the walk and the fundraising was done and I'd had a wee bit of rest and stuff, I wrapped up and gave it to her as a keepsake.
A nice wee
Uh,
memento. Yeah, oh,
Even
that's good.
mental, she says I'll only ever wear it when I feel I need to be around them, and I just thought
Yeah.
that was a wonderful thing to do, because I could have kept it as a memento to myself,
Mhm.
but I think my sister really just needed it, so I gifted it over.
That's a nice touch. That's a nice touch. The the Edinburgh to Grangemouth thing. I think I know why you started in Edinburgh. But why did you pick Grangemouth as a destination?
I wanted to walk a huge amount of distance, but I had worked out pretty quickly trying to walk to Glasgow. Walking isn't 44 miles like you would drive it.
No.
It's actually about 53 to walk it. The way the road map goes for walking it, it would be over 50 miles to walk to Glasgow. And not being a walker back then, it would have been hugely difficult. And I'd seen testimonials of experienced walkers saying, for your first walk, I would not be walking to Glasgow. It's a difficult walk. So I set a target of 30 miles and hit it into the map, and 30 miles was Grangemouth.
There we go. Yeah, and it's fortunate that that you actually picked that location because it was that that registered with me. And why Grangemouth? I just had to find out.
Mhm.
So before the walk, you, I think, had recently decided to tackle some addiction issues. Were the addiction issues the cause of your mental health, or were they sort of an attempt to try and help deal with mental health issues? Or
I I believe that obviously addiction will any addiction, whether it's prescribed or unprescribed, medicinal, whatever coping mechanism,
Mhm.
um, will have a detrimental effect on mental health if it's used in the wrong way. So,
Certainly.
um, but 2020, I quit drinking, so I've turned 50 in March, just March there, and I'm 5 years sober that on that day as well, and I'm
Well
proud of
done.
myself. Absolutely proud of myself every day for that. I'm proud of myself every day for just doing incredible things anyway, living a sober, addiction-free life anyway. But that day was a hugely important, proud moment. I was hit 5 years sober. It was in 50. The number 50 as a age
Yeah,
really made no difference to me. And this November coming up, I'll be 3 years without marijuana and cigarettes as well. Again, never touched them since nearly 3 years ago. So yeah, so
massive
I was really,
achievement.
yeah, absolutely. These are huge achievements, and they're transformative changes
Yeah,
in a person's journey into better mental health. I think is to understand that addiction um, usually will lead to um, detrimental decline in
yeah,
physical and mental health, and relationships and jobs and friendships and
the whole thing.
um,
Mhm.
socialising and exercise and being creative and being connected socially.
Yeah, it's all linked together. The I mean, I've met up with you a few times. The second time that I met up with you, I think you were displaying some of your abstract art in the what used to be the
Debenham store,
Debenhams, the big Debenhams store. Yeah,
the
at
big Debenham
Ocean
store,
Terminal.
Ocean. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
um, Now we've also got a picture of you here. It's that red T-shirt, the out of sight, out of mind T-shirt. Tell me a bit more about the abstract art and I think the picture you've got there. That was you with some of your own art exhibited behind you, and
Mhm.
the out of sight, out of mind thing.
That's right. I walked into the wee hub, the Living Memories Association. My nephew was volunteering at the time, Darren.
Ah,
So
uh-huh.
Darren's 20 now. He was volunteering there, and I went in, and they were asking me about editing on social media, and it just blossomed from there. Of me going in and giving them like one of the staff members a wee sort of, this is how you would edit this way. You would pull the picture in this way, get your dimensions right and stuff. To being there a wee bit more often and becoming a volunteer, uh, hosting art classes with the kids that were coming in, of all ages, um, finding plastics inside the building that were going to go to
Hmm,
landfill,
yeah.
and realising that acrylic paint, these plastics, and then when heated together, like putting heat through it, was morphing it into these incredible pieces of art that I've just continued to. I've kind of over for 2022 up to kind of the tail end of last year. I've just evolved it into making lamps and
Ah,
um,
yeah.
bigger styled art pieces, and this year for Out of Sight, Out of Mind is going to be a sort of mental health take on a disco ball. So with
Yeah.
ceramics and positive phrases and stuff like that. So and these are all the materials I use have been saved for landfill. So but the Wee Hub and the Living Memories Association have gave me incredible support over the last sort of 3 years now. Even when I thought things were going nowhere, they've always had that belief behind me that keep the process going. You know, art is a process.
Yeah.
If you don't feel talented, you are talented when you don't feel you've got that talent. So, and it spurned on to um, hearing about Out of Sight, Out of Mind, which is a showcased exhibition in Summer Hall every year for an exhibition for people who have got lived experience of mental health, and that's funded through Thrive Edinburgh and run by CAPS Advocacy, the charity. So
Summer Hall, that is a place for people who don't know, that is a place in Edinburgh.
yeah,
So
so it's it's the former vets uh, school, college
is that
up at
close to the
Meadows.
Meadows?
It's right on the corner of the Meadows, yeah.
Right.
So it's a beautiful old building as well, that's still got some of the old labs there, and some of the old display casings and stuff. It's incredible how they utilise these spaces.
I've seen some of the pictures that you've put up every time you have an exhibition there, but I've never managed to
Mhm.
get round yet. Maybe the next time. Sounds
Absolutely, it's
interesting.
my third year as submitting, and as on the planning group as a volunteer.
When is it on?
October, 3 weeks in October.
It's coming up. Okay. Something to
It
look out
is,
for.
it is fast approaching again. It is, it's always never stopping, pedal to the metal.
You're a
So
busy person, very busy person.
I like to stay busy, definitely.
The other thing, if I just switch to the next picture, the other thing that you've been involved with is Andy's Man Club, which again I've had a wee bit of involvement with them. I've been to um, a few of the meetings, and it's been of help to me. How did you get involved with Andy's Man Club?
So I'm just about to come into my second year um, being involved with Andy's Man Club. It was around about mid June 2 years ago that I um, put it off and put it off and put it off and
Mm,
put it off,
aye.
and eventually just walked up to the door and was beautifully welcomed in by one of the sweepers on the door. Handshake, an introduction. I was taken down the stairs and then introduced to another guy in the room who, again, had just compassion and listening, and
Yeah.
could see that I was nervous, but took me through the guidance of how the meeting goes and when it was got to be starting, and get yourself a tea and coffee. And I sat in that first meeting, and that was in the Merchiston club at the end of Watson Crescent, which has now moved to Napier University Merchiston campus, uh, and realised that we are all men who want to be talking. And it was a connection straight away, instantly a connection straight away. And I cannot describe to you in the 2 years how transformative it's been for me, um, especially going as a member to becoming doing the facilitator training, which was maybe about 5 6 months after attending. I'd done the facilitator training, and maybe and uh, my landscape's opened again into another unknown, incredible sort of where will I go next with this charity.
Yeah.
It's incredible what can be achieved when you've got free training in front of you.
So you've
Um,
gone from, will I go in the door? I'm not sure, to taking that big step, going in the door, everything being new, to actually becoming facilitator and helping introducing
mhm,
others in the door. I think you've even helped with opening
absolutely.
other um, clubs as they come
So
along.
yeah, again, I'm hugely, hugely grateful that the freedom as a volunteer to push yourself out your comfort zone and say, the need for an Andy's Man Club is needed down this area. And I was just the perfect person at the perfect time,
Mhm.
that was already trained and
Right.
lived in Leaf to launch and open the Andy's Man Club and the Hibernian Community Foundation in Leaf.
Right.
We have been running since September 30th last year, and our numbers are incredibly good. It is again, it's to watch guys walk up to the door and always remember something about that guy for the week before or months before, and see that change in him, that positive change in that guy is
It,
and
aye.
is it fills our hearts every week when we see it.
It's like you find the shell of the person that's just surviving, and somehow the person starts to appear again. It's
Yeah,
it's difficult to explain,
yeah, it's
but
like a cocoon, like a cocoon coming in,
aye,
something's morphing.
it works.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful to see, and I celebrate it as well. I
Aye.
celebrate and make sure, not just as a facilitator and leading groups and making sure our location is looked after, and the other facilitators are feeling validated, and but to make sure that the boys that are coming through the door to not just our location but any location, that these little positive changes are celebrated,
Hmm.
to make sure that they're celebrated, to make sure they're proud of themselves for these small changes that are going to be bigger life changes in the future. It's a beautiful transformation you see.
Hmm. It takes time, and everyone takes their own amount of time. It's different for everyone, but you've just got to stick with it, and it'll come to you. You don't have to talk the first time you go along. You don't have to talk any time you go along, but that's when you're going. You want to talk, and just sitting and listening and seeing how it happens. And yeah, the time will come. You won't be able to stop
Yeah,
yourself, and things change. It changes. It mends some of these broken bits inside. It works. So it's,
absolutely. It
if
pieces things
anyone's thinking about
together.
giving it a
You
try, do it. Definitely. Anyone thinking about
absolutely.
giving it
It's
a try.
5 questions. Free, no bookings, no referrals, no judgment,
No,
no pressure. Um,
you will
it
be
is
listened
about
to.
you'll be validated, you'll be listened to, but also, when a guy's sharing, and I'm hugely pushing this forward at the moment, when a guy's sharing and making that man understand that, um, feeling powerfully vulnerable is a strength. It's such a huge
Hmm.
strength inside you to feel powerfully vulnerable about it. Take away feeling weak when you're vulnerable, because you're powerful. You're strong when you're vulnerable, because you're showing your loved ones and you're showing society that these are natural emotions to be having. They're absolutely
Mm.
natural. Every person has these emotions, and they should be shown, and they should be um, communicated without the stigma of the fear and the shame of it. Powerfully vulnerable is my favourite thing to be saying
Mm. Yeah.
to men. It's my favourite thing to be saying to anyone. But breaking that stigma is an important part of Andy's Man Club.
certainly is. And it's a very worthwhile thing to be involved with. Um, and then you are certainly involved with I think you've been doing quite a lot of sort of personal adventures, but I think you've also been doing a lot of other sort of fundraising adventures. Maybe did you do a walk up Ben Nevis? Maybe not.
So we attended Ben Nevis in April,
You did. Right.
and this was raising funds and awareness for dementia, and that was for a young guy down in England called Andre, who was diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia at 22, just turned 22, and he's now just over 23, and he's already non-verbal,
Aye.
24-hour care at his parents. And these are stories that people just don't believe. They
Hmm.
just don't believe that this can be possible, that a 3-year-old guy is needing 24-hour care by his parents. And I've not been fortunate enough to meet Andre, but I've had many, many, many video calls with Andre and his mum Sammy and his stepdad Alistair, and to get that connection with an incredible human being who is screaming at us to talk the language to us, but just dementia's not letting him do it.
Yeah.
Um, but I get it. I just get it that just be in the moment with him and just celebrate that he's still around with us and he's having the time of his life, even though he can't physically tell us what's going on. We smashed the target. We never got to the summit of Ben Nevis in April because the weather
Weather.
changed so dramatic. But um, it had already pushed me on to that I was signed up for the hashtag MissionPossible with Andy's Man Club as well, and that is what's your possible. So Glasgow Kilt Walk, sorry, do it the way Yorkshire Free Peaks was last
Three
weekend.
Peaks. Hmm.
Um, Tomorrow is Aberdeen Kilt Walk, and then next Saturday is South Queensferry Tough Mudder. So, and then I've got a wee bit of a rest, and then there's Dundee Kilt Walk, um, uh, Great North Run, Edinburgh Kilt Walk, and then the Great Scottish Run. And
Aye.
these are all part of raising awareness for Andy's Man Club, and it's also to go at the hashtag Mission Possible for the charity. And these are incredible things. I'm doing these for awareness this year.
Yeah.
Um, and as I say, 50 was just a number. It has not hindered me in the slightest to uh, go outside my comfort zone within mental health and get messy and run and climb
Aye.
mountains that I'm absolutely terrified to be doing, you know,
Aye. I think
because
I think you're now a younger physical age than what you were when I first met you. I take it you could almost jog that Edinburgh
yes,
to Grangemouth, whereas way back that first time, the life had about ended by the time you were getting to the end of it. It was a
um,
major challenge.
honestly, that was. I kind of felt like that in the Yorkshire Free Peaks last week, I've got to say. And that was 24 miles, but I
The weather
did kind
wasn't
of feel
good.
like, oh, I'm knackered. The
And you're
weather, the weather was just a
still
bit
doing it.
wet and wild, but yeah, I think there was many guys on the Yorkshire Free Peaks last week that had got to a point of I've gave up now. I don't want to do this anymore, and that's what exhaustion and
Aye.
dehydration of the muscles will do.
It's
Um,
painful. Mhm.
I would capture these moments. Absolutely, I would capture these moments, and I'd say to them, "Remember the reason you're doing it. The reason we're doing this is for to raise awareness for Andy's Man Club, but also for our own mental health.
Yes.
This is for our mission possible. The pain subsides a bit when you're pushing through that pain and realizing the positive things you're
Aye.
doing for your life that you never thought possible before are where these prouder moments are coming from. And this sort of transcended into Facebook last week when many posts were coming up tagging, saying I met this guy from Edinburgh who got me through the darkest moments of the Yorkshire Free Peaks, and
Uh-huh.
that really resonated with me.
Yeah.
That I didn't do that for validation of it from anybody. That was important that they guys felt supported and motivated.
What you're doing is an amazing thing, and you're not just building um, physical strength and physical health; it's mental strength, mental health as well.
It really
Just
is, yeah.
setting yourself a challenge and maybe not always achieving it, but getting close, working your way towards it, knowing you can go a bit further the next time, knowing you've survived it. It didn't finish you, you can do it again.
Absolutely. I heard a very clever phrase
Yeah.
yesterday when we were at the train station. Um, Mental wealth
Uh-huh.
rather than mental health,
Yeah.
and it really resonated with me, that phrase, all day yesterday. So because it does change the way you think about it. So that really, and my phrase about uh, feeling powerfully vulnerable resonated with the woman that was talking to me yesterday. So she said that is a very, very strong thing to say to someone. It is empowering to say that.
Mm.
So, so these were brilliant conversations we had yesterday.
It's excellent. Yeah, it's adding value it's adding value to your life. It's making you more powerful, and it's helping you to then pass on some of this mental wealth that you've got onto others. Yeah. Um, right. You have a kilt walk to do tomorrow.
Definitely do. 18 miles. 18 miles. The bus is at 7:25 tomorrow morning. The Kilt Walk bus out to the start point at another village, and then we walk back to Aberdeen. So yeah, and then it's get my get a medal, get some free food, maybe get a couple of photos, and then it's straight on the City Link back to Edinburgh.
Right. I'll be looking out for the pictures. You regularly post some pictures, so I'll look out
Absolutely,
for them coming through.
absolutely.
Um, I think we'll draw it to a close there, but I've got to ask a favour.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have a catchphrase. You have a catchphrase that you end a lot of your TikToks. And I've got to get some links from you as well so that I can add them into the video at the end. But we can arrange that a bit later. But um, could I get you to sign off from this video um, with your catchphrase, and I'll just say thanks for making this possible.
No worries.
Um, it's been a while since we spoke. It's good to see you again. It's good to see you're really active doing stuff. Don't
You too.
overdo it.
I'm trying
Uh,
not to. But
and
yeah,
over to
yeah.
you.
Guys, listen, have a good weekend. Remember that drink your water and it is okay to talk.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Alan.
Take care. All the best.